Welcome back to more Monster Train, and we're here to continue our regular runs, hoping to keep the win streak going. So, not much more to say, let's fire it off. My lord, a blessed run with neither the Stygian nor the Melting Remnant. What even are these factions? I haven't seen them in 100,000 years. Alright, so we have Hellhorned and Awoken. The Awoken are Exile. Alright, 2 Restoration Detonations could be useful. Some armor, and the Impressive, likely not going to do a whole lot with gnomes in our deck, but it's okay. Unfortunately, the Exiled Awoken, not quite as powerful as it makes it a lot harder to get the tanks, the Awoken tanks going when you don't have the restores. Like we just have the restoration detonations here. But at least we did get those, so maybe we can make something happen. And that said, we get one of the best artifacts in the game here. Giving our demons multi-strike means we can focus on Hellhorn units pretty heavily and hopefully have a nice run there. Alright, and we get our option of the Reaper, Hornbreaker Prince, or the more tanky one. And I've actually had success with both versions, and given that we have the multi-striking demon artifact, I'm more inclined to go for the tank version to have our champion hopefully play the role of a tank for the many demons we will hopefully get. Got some fortifies and some restorations to try and keep them alive, so give it a go. You do need some extra synergies to really make it pop, but it's decent. And here, it's just the basic guys. We can make them stronger. We have some torches to clear them out, and yeah, I think we'll be okay. Definitely want to set up near the top, so we have less rage when they attack us and more time to set up as well. Torches are going to be a pretty big priority for us. Otherwise, just these rootsies. Unfortunately, that means we aren't likely to get very many slay triggers, but you know, we'll do what we can here. Okay, that's nice. That gets us the money and the slay trigger. Absolutely helpful. Obviously going to do this, and definitely firing off 2 of these torches. Just have to decide if I'd rather fire off a 3rd torch or get a steward going, and I think the steward is a little bit more important, so I'll do so, and then eliminate 2 of these. And we get to get a slay trigger on this last guy. Get a little bit more armor, though it looks like the next floor is going to do some damage to us, unfortunately. Ooh, we don't draw any torches. That's a little bit unfortunate, but at least we get to armor up our unit here. Trying to work out if there's any point playing some stewards in the middle floor. These guys will have 7 attack. So 2 of them kill the front one, and then these 2 kill the box. So there isn't even any point to playing these stewards. They will just die. So I'd rather just keep stacking these and hope we get the torches required to eliminate these clergymen before they wreck us too bad. I mean, I guess I'll play one of them just because I have the spare mana, but he won't accomplish anything, unfortunately. Our champion at least stacking lots of rage, that part's nice. Okay, perfect. We drew some torches. I think I'm going to get rid of the weight here. Just put 2 of these. We can afford to get hit by one of these guys, get another slay trigger. Should actually increase our survivability. So. And looks like we got the boss. So good first fight. Lost a little bit of health on one of the waves, but that's what we get here. Hidden Passage, certainly something I enjoy. It can help stack a big floor with either a Hornbreaker Prince or perhaps another tank, and lots of scary demons behind. Vent could be good as well. We don't currently have an AoE, but though we have the torches, which do a similar thing, just less effectively, so not as worried about it. And the Fortify is nice, but we already have two of them, so I'm gonna go with the Passage. That can often just lead to pretty strong things. I'm actually sort of interested in the Sharpen for once. Not a card I'm typically a huge fan of, but giving our champion spikes could really help out in terms of getting him additional slay triggers just off of killing tiny things. Razor Sharp Edge could also be good with the multi-striking demons. We'll hopefully have 10 attack just goes a long way, but I'll try the Sharpen. This card is rarely good, so when I see an opportunity to use it, I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay, this isn't exactly the demon we wanted. Multi-strike on Thrail Beater. Not only is it not a good DPS demon, the pushback on multiple units in a row ends up being strange. So this is like probably one of the worst demons to get here. So our option is to just pick up an Animus of Speed or the Sapwood. Let's see. So normally, as you know, if you've watched my videos, I like to head over to the Merchant of Steel in this first circle to power up our units, but the artifact is good enough that I'm gonna favor Hellhorde banners really heavily, so I'm gonna be going this way for the Merchant of Magic. Maybe we can do something with making the Fortifies better, or doing some of this Passage, I don't know. The Sharpen cheaper is good. So all that said, which of these units would I prefer? I might take the Sapwood. It's an alright unit to generate some energy for us, and we just won't worry too much about keeping it alive in the long term, so seems alright. Holdover, cost reduction, and that, okay. Holdover could be interesting. Alright, and here's a demon we're more happy to see. And again, this is why I'm okay with not taking the Steel Merchant, because the multi-strike on this means it's basically already better than most improvements would have made it anyway. Obviously, we want to give it some more health, but at least we have the Fortifies if there's any sweeps or anything happening. So really happy to see that, and let's see. I'm 100% going to make the Sharpen cheaper, and then I need to decide if I'd like to give anything holdover or not. I could try giving holdover to a Fortify and then maybe look to double stack it later, but that just ends up being kind of mediocre. It's 10 armor every turn for 1 mana. It's just not that broken. Could do it on the Sharpen to improve our spike count, but really we're just looking for the one-time application of the spikes to, again, eliminate weak units and get some value from that. So I actually think I don't want to give any of these holdover. Hidden Passage, that could end up being a strong ability later on in the run, but certainly not right now. So I'll just go ahead and make one of the torches consume. And then just have to decide if I want to purge a card or not. Probably just heading to another Magic Merchant. Because again, Hellhorn Banner. Means we're waiting a while on our Steel Merchant, I suppose. Wow, wait. Do we not get one until the... What is this, like the 6th circle here? Is that really accurate? Nothing here. Oh, down. Trinket and Magic. Magic. Oh, so we don't get one until after the 2nd boss. Okay. I might have to reconsider and go to one here, and then maybe look to duplicate our demon or something. Yeah, that's probably saner than not having one for 2/3 of the run. Alright, so in that case, I'll definitely want my money, so... Spikes, and we have more more clergymen and haste. That's a little bit unfortunate. So again, Spike's very bad against Horned Warrior, but the boss is a sweeper anyway, so the Horned Warrior won't contribute much. So I think I'm okay with taking the trial here. Hopefully we can deal well enough with the haste. Okay. And top floor is smaller, and that's a little bit unfortunate. We would like to fight up there for the Rage Decay, but at the same time, it means we can't get our Sapwood going there, but I guess the boss is sweet anyway, so maybe that doesn't matter so much. So I'm gonna set up the Prince at the top, and torch this thing. I just have to decide what I want to do with Sapwood, and despite the fact that there's going to be haste coming in, I'm going to put it in the middle floor. Hopefully we can torch a lot of the haste, and this will generate some energy. And again, the Horned Warrior not too much of a priority between the spikes and the sweet boss. Alright, happy to see that again, getting some free value there, and we even get our spikes. That should be really, really good. And despite that, I will continue to torch the hasters here. Okay, we finally get some use out of our restoration detonation. I guess I'll kill this as well. And just deploy a couple of stewards. Champion even more attack. He's the one that's going to survive against the boss the longest here. Well, we don't get a torch on the one turn where it matters the most, unfortunately. So that said, we'll just have to hope our champion is strong enough to handle all this, and I think they will be. But obviously not what we wanted to see there. Okay, and looks like we're doing just fine, so good job, champion. Okay, we get the option to pick up a vent again, or Molting Imp, sort of same effect. Versus once more a Fortify. I'll probably take one of the AoEs now. Vent a little more flexible since it doesn't require a slot, but the Molting Imp, slightly better conversion rate. But I think I'll still take the Vent. It's easy to give this extra magic power, and then it's free, which is really nice. And then we have our option of a couple of different heals or a Steel Enhancer. The Steel Enhancer, once more, could be good on some of our multi-strikers. Restoration Detonation, if we pick up a third one, it helps us to try and keep this Sapwood alive while doing some damage. That's not a bad option. But I think I'll pick this up for multi-strikers, seems okay. And then yeah, I would love to pick up more Hellhorned units, but man, it's so hard to wait until we get past Fell to improve our units at all. I don't know. Maybe we can do it? Maybe. The multi-strike really does go such a long way. My cat's here to help our decision-making process. Alright, so what's the main concerns right now with improving the units? The Hellhorned, or the Horned Warrior, is a little bit low on health, which is a problem. And obviously the Sapwood's not too strong, but again, that one we're just sort of throwing out there for some energy and absorbing a few hits. It's not a critical part of the strategy at the moment. We do have a duplicate down here, so if we pick up some good improvements on the warrior, then we can just duplicate it and be happy enough with the results, I think. So I guess I will just do this, but and this time I'm going to go for the merchant before the cave. If we find any duplicates, then I'll certainly be happy to duplicate that unit. And I will give it a battle stone just for the added health and a little bit of extra attack. So it's good to me. And the endless actually is sort of interesting on the sapwood. It'll end up paying for itself, basically. Once we play it once, the revenge will kick in, and if it's endless, we can keep replaying it. So I actually don't hate that. Just checking on this real quick. Looks like our final boss is devouring spells. Shouldn't be much of an issue. Yeah, I'm actually going to give this a go. It's endless. And give it health as well. And I will still re-roll to try and hit something cool on the warrior. Okay. Another stack of multi-strike would have been really great. Unfortunately, we don't quite get there. But I will give it the attack because we are looking to duplicate this unit already. So this would have been nice, but we just don't have the cash, unfortunately. And no reason to buff the stewards here. So it's fine. Okay. Looks like we get a remnant of the Armageddon here with either some sort of X spell or a Petrified Skull to kill a unit. And if you're not familiar with this event, if you don't purchase out of your deck for, I think, 2 fights, it gives you an artifact that makes it just consume instead, so it's pretty nice. I usually prefer the Skull just because it's free and killing a single unit can be really powerful. Some of the later ones have so much health. But in this case, because we have the sapwood, we're going to have lots of turns where we have just a ton of energy. And as such, I'm interested in one of these other options. Let's see, Revenge. Revenge doesn't trigger through shields, if I remember correctly, so this might not be quite correct, despite the fact that it would be good to just get our hero, you know, infinite or whatever. And yeah, so we have 2 revenge tanks, so the shield might not be correct. On the other hand, I don't know how effective, like this is an X spell you don't actually need that much X value for. Doing this for, you know, 8 energy or whatever isn't that much better than doing it for 3. So yeah, we need the AoE, like, it's fine, but we have our spike plan. I'm just not that worried about it, I guess. We have a vent as well. So I'm definitely between these two. I'm gonna go with the shield, even though the damage shield is a little bit of an anti-synergy. I think it's pretty strong still. The rewards from this boss fight will be sort of interesting as well. We have to decide. Well, actually, now that I say that, again, sapwood should be giving us energy, so I'll definitely be going for card draw. I was sort of debating between the 2, but just because root seeds already give us a little bit of extra draw, but yeah, we should have plenty of energy, so definitely going for draw from this boss. And it looks like we have armor on the Slade boss, not too bad. So as usual, the extra rage, a little bit of a concern. And here the top floor being smaller doesn't bother us. We're just gonna put a Horned Warrior behind our tank and be alright with the results. So yeah, that's my plan. The champion a little bit fragile to the boss to begin with, unfortunately, but not a ton we can do about it at the moment. And I will just go ahead and forge one of these. Okay, get our Horned Warrior online. And start to improve it, I suppose. I'm just gonna throw the steward out there to die. I think that's okay. Don't really want them in our deck. Well, maybe I could put one behind the sapwood, actually. I should do that. But... this is a little bit unfortunate, though it's not killing us, so that's fine. And we do get a Slay trigger going. In the meantime, yeah, I will play one of these back here. Might as well get a little bit of extra DPS. And then play some root seeds. Just debating if torching this is correct or not. I think it is. Okay, got some good buffs for a champion here. Definitely some spikes, and oh, that'll steal the trigger. But it's still worth, I think. Do I want to vent this floor? Probably, so we'll just go with a root seed and a quick vent. And just go ahead and do that. And I might as well, I suppose. Extra steward going around. Okay, looks pretty easy to me. Champion at decent enough health. Give it some more spikes, I guess. Might as well do one of those, I suppose. Alright, and we win. Excellent news. Let's see what we've got. Quick, flip, and rage and armor. It's certainly not the adaptive mutation. We're not looking to reverse either of our creatures here, although it is kind of interesting with rage. I believe you get to convert that rage into health effectively and then still have the rage remain there. So it can actually be used to give our champion quite a bit of health if we can get the rage stacked up. So that maybe, now that I say that, it's actually good. Tome, probably the least interesting of the options. Quick isn't that important for us. The spike's pretty good though, maybe. Again, if we have a big energy turn, giving something like 10 armor, 10 rage is not bad. I think I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. Okay, we get more demons, which is fantastic. Have to decide between the Rage Giver and just another basic Horned Warrior. And I found this guy pretty tricky to get to work. You really have to get the Slay triggers going. It's a little easier with Multi-Strike, but you know, it just has so much more base attack value. It's simpler. So I'll be picking that one and still looking to duplicate the other one as well. And just use our hidden passages to good effect. So yeah, let's do that. And as mentioned before, picking up draw here. And once again, as nice as an artifact would be, we'll be heading this way for the duplication. And upgrade our champion as well. Certainly want to give it more rage and more armor. It's a big part of our plan here. Happy to remove Stewart. Well, okay, I'm gonna remove this first because it just does literally nothing in the deck, and then I'll remove a Stewart. And duplicate our improved warrior here. Have a pretty we'll get our own clone army going here, but it's okay. Not too worried about armor or units hit hard, so happy to take this one. Though we'll make the slay triggers a little trickier, I suppose. Okay, this time we're not forced into any configuration. None of these units have raid or anything. Would like to eliminate these as soon as possible, but we also want to make sure we can use our Ascend to good effect, so let's see, this guy's 14 health. Yes, I think we'll set up the Prince on the second floor and the Plant on the bottom, though this guy might end up killing a little too effectively here. We'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about it. Play a warrior behind, and then play the warrior with a bit more health over here. Just go ahead and get started on killing some stuff. Plan to put the plant in front of it, so I guess we may as well play Stewart up here. Okay, we draw our plant, that's good. Go ahead and play that. Alright, this is dying and giving us a trigger, that's good. Unfortunately, the Horned Warrior here is going to have to come back around, and the passage as well, so I have to debate if taking 3 damage is worth getting this guy up a floor. Yeah, I think it is. We have a lot of higher health, and that just makes our setup quite a bit better. It leaves room for when this guy comes back around, so. Alright, we get our spikes, that's fantastic, even though it's a little less good here with the armor, but I'll still go ahead and apply those. Our unit in the back a bit stronger. Torch doesn't do much, unfortunately. And again, don't want to play this because we'll get rid of the Purge on it eventually. And here the fight won't go all that long, so I might as well play this now, and just to make sure it works how I think it works. Yeah, so I go from 43.24 to 39.43, so that's just a big bump in stats, pretty helpful. And as we get to later fights where we get to build even more rage, that'll end up being quite a bit better as well. So. That might be a card we look to remove Consume from, because reapplying it again just bumps your stats yet again. It's pretty good. Alright, get rid of you. Let's see, can we maybe score him a kill? That would be nice. So it's going to get 3 more stacks of rage, so 49 to 55, so we need to deal 50 damage. Can't quite do that, unfortunately, so we'll just have to live with this. Sure, I'll play one of you and push this anyway, I guess. Why not? Okay, we didn't hit our other units, so the Ascend may have ended up not being that good, but you know, it's alright. And play one of these on this floor just for the damage, but the other one on our champion. He is only at 40 health, which is a little bit problematic actually. We deal a lot of damage, so I think we'll be okay, but it's a little bit scary here. And keep root seeds. At least have tons of energy next turn. Okay, we are killing, that's nice. Just get rid of all these weights. Alright, solid fight, just took damage from that one card. Okay, and we can pick up a spike yet again. We can try to double armor or return a consumed card. I mean, that is interesting for adaptive mutation, though now we've made a torch consume as well. The fact that it's random does get in the way a bit. So probably not the Scholar. These are both interesting. The Reinforce can be really good if you can get a good amount of armor stacked up, but it's also hard to maintain the armor in a lot of the later fights. The enemies tend to just chew through it, so I'll go with the Spike, just another good X spell that we can use. And here we could take a retreat to sort of come from the other angle with our hidden passage strategy. Don't think stings are something I'm particularly interested in. They don't do anything that's special in the deck. And similarly with Ensnare. Again, we have lots of damage, so I'm not that worried about rooting stuff. The retreat's interesting. Let's just be a little bit more flexible with how we set up maybe, but I think it's still a skip from me. Well, maybe not. Yeah, that way if we set up our champion sort of in the middle every time, we can try to go from both sides. I don't think we're due any more units at this point in terms of like flags or boss rewards, but we'll probably look to duplicate again, so yeah, let's try it, why not? Alright, here's our Armageddon thing. We get our Hope for Peace, so we can start actually deploying the shield. And even though a selection of trinkets is nice, I'm gonna go this way for the free trinket and the Merchant of Magic. There's quite a few cards I'd be happy to improve. This can definitely be good. Basically all of our X spells and the adaptive mutation have some good possibilities. So let's see if we can make those a bit better, and we still get something going here. Okay, the Unbroken Horn seems pretty insane to me here. Again, lots of turns where we're generating a ton of energy with the sapwood and not necessarily spending it very effectively. So then we get to save up for a really massive spike or shield. That seems good. The Rage is also strong. Makes our champion quite a bit better, but I think the Horn here is just completely insane, so we'll go with that. Okay, double stack. 8 spikes, not too interested. It is decent with one of these things for sure. 10 magic power cost. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put double stack on one of these X spells. I just have this 4 times damage shield has to be probably better, right? Yeah, this has to be insane. We might look to give it permafreeze or something and just use it on the boss phase, but the card should be really strong for us. And then 10 magic power, I'll just put that on the vent. Again, it means we can cast it for free to good effect. And the cost reduction, probably either on Restoring Retreat or maybe the other X spell. I'll go with Retreat, that's fine. And of course reroll, we got plenty of cash. Okay, Remove Consume is great. So we could look to do that here and then reduce it back down to 2. We could look to do it here, but then the cost is a little less exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this and reduce it back down to 2. Okay, we spent a lot of cash there, but I think our deck is a bit better. I would still like to give the shield permafreeze. I think that would be really strong. But as is, between the 4 times and the horn, we can give just an obscene amount of damage shield. Again, it's sort of anti-synergy with our revenge triggers, but it's a price I'm willing to pay for that much protection. Okay, 6 extra attack. Too scary with the sweeper, then we'll just eliminate all of our horned warriors a little too easily, so I'm gonna have to skip on this one, unfortunately. Smaller bottom floor, actually slightly inconvenient. It means we can't put anything behind the sapwood. So we could skip the first floor and set up on the other 2. It means our descend doesn't do anything, but that's fine. We can always use an enemy or something. Yeah, I think that's probably worthwhile here. And the unimproved Horned Warrior is probably not going to do much this particular fight with having 4 health. It just dies a little too easily. Okay, love to see the Collector giving us a bit of a head start on our armor. And here, yeah, we'll get the guy that actually can survive over on this floor. Start, I guess, buffing him. He's gonna end up being the furthest back once we send. And in the meantime, we have a vent as well. This guy we actually want to get the Slay trigger on, so I'm not gonna kill him. I guess I'll just clear out the priest turn. And we have to remember now as well with the Unbroken Horn, there's no reason to spend all of our energy on cards that aren't very good. So in this case, I'm happy enough to play the Root Seeds. I think they'll help. And maybe the Restoration, but I won't be bothering with the basic Torches or the Train Stewards at this point. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get this up and up. Yeah, our middle floor doing a little bit too well, not letting our champions stack up these buffs, but I guess we can fix that with an Ascend, so might as well do that, and then obviously get lots of armor going. And again, not too interested in playing these basic torches. Could apply 16 shield. That sure is a lot of shield. This will give us almost nothing, so that's certainly not worth it. Again, card's much better if you have some rage going, which we currently do not. Nothing's really been attacking all that much is the problem. I might just apply the 16 shields to the second warrior here in line. I'll protect the bunch for the boss phase. It seems fine to me. Okay, we got a sharpen. That's cool. Most of this doesn't do a whole lot again, so let's just, I guess, throw one of these out, sure. Not an incredible fight for our champion, it's okay. Unfortunately, the stealth is going to be a minor issue, but hopefully our damage shields should get the job done. For now, we'll play you over here. And giving this additional armor won't do anything, so I'll just do that. I guess this eliminates a good amount of damage. Nope, that hurt us somehow. Oh, because of the spikes, of course. Yep. that makes sense. Well, that's what I get for not carefully analyzing. Okay, we unfortunately don't get our send. I guess we couldn't have our discard. But we get this to deal a little bit of damage and last a few more turns. Let's see, 13 times 3 is 39. So giving it either the Enhancer or the Fortify will help a little bit. So let's do that. And yeah, just continue buffing this back unit as much as we can. Alright, looks like we win. We can fire this off for the heck of it. All that done. Our unit's just hitting hard enough that the tank doesn't need to have that much health. Ooh, Inferno, huh? That's interesting. Inflame also pretty good. Don't think I'm interested in Imps. Yeah, so Inferno, when you only have 2 floors, is quite strong, and we sometimes have the energy with Sapwood. But I think I might oddly like the Inflame here. It just gives our champion exactly what he needs, so I'm gonna pick that up. Not a card I'm typically a huge fan of, but it's pretty good here. In these, we could pick up another way to give spikes, and the extra health sort of does something with the reverse card as well. Yeah, you know what, alright. Picking up lots of cards I don't normally pick up. Maybe that's a bad thing, who knows. And now we have to decide if we'd rather visit a second Magic Merchant or continue duplicating. I think I'm happy to continue duplicating our clone army here. The Magic Merchant has some definitely nice things to offer, but we don't even have that much money, so let's just go this way, pick up some cash, and get some cool in a cave event. Okay, those are all interesting options, to be sure. One extra space means the Hornbreaker Prince can fit 2 Horned Warriors behind it by default, which is pretty good. Versus 3 extra space, because it's an 8 somewhere, so we could just play like all the warriors there, but depending on where that floor ends up, that might not want to be a thing we do. So I think I'm just going to go for the sure thing, take the 1. Still plan to move some units around. Well, I don't know, we have 2 ways to move units, so we can move them up or down. This is close. I guess we'll go for the +3. Sure. Pretty good event, that one. Just good as a boss reward. And I could copy this Holiest Shield and just really go off, but I think I'm better off just creating more powerful DPS units. Especially now that we have the big floor. And Spell Shield and Armor, not a huge concern. We have a lot of higher health, so even if the first waves get through a little bit, we'll be okay. Alright, this is a 7 now, so unfortunate that we got the reduction and the increase on the same floor, but still good. And we'll look to set up the Horned Prince on that floor with some guys behind. And I want to deploy a Train Steward. We have what? The Sapwood, like 2 more warriors. Yeah, we have room to just go ahead and put it at the top here for something. Okay, drawing all Horned Warriors, which is maybe not exactly what we want. Would like to get the Sapwood here, but that's okay. The mutation, unfortunately, a little early to the party as well. But Let's see if we can figure this out. So if we put a 14 here, it unfortunately dies. That doesn't look great for me. Could of course reverse one of them, but then they're pretty bad. Let's see, this deals... Okay, so if I play this for 1, it'll actually kill this unit, and then we can have the 14 survive, and we should draw our sapwood the turn following. So that looks okay to me, I guess. Just have to make sure I don't screw up the cards here. So yeah, 10 plus 2 is 12, that's perfect. And you just get extra armor, I don't care too much about that. And then we'll put one up here to descend later. Champion finally stacking a little bit of that rage. A little bit of armor as well. Certainly need to play the sapwood. And we'll get some spikes going as well. Yeah, there's no way this guy's surviving no matter what I give him, so just keep stacking stuff on the champion here. Yeah, and the spike's really helping here, giving us the ability to get multiple slay triggers in a turn. Alright, looks like we get both the hidden passage and the restoring retreat, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stack the crap out of this floor, I think. We really don't want to be killing stuff on the bottom, we want our champion to get the opportunity to kill as much as possible. And this looks pretty formidable to me. And we'll even give him additional health and spikes. And Steel Enhance the guy in the back, sure. Even though I'd like to conserve the energy, I'm going to throw the torch out just to consume it so I don't draw it again. Okay, losing a little bit of health here, unfortunately. And again, not looking to play these cards, though maybe again the Steward could be okay, just get out of the way, sure. Loving that armor. Okay, so always looking to be applying armor to our champion here. And let's see, he's getting a kill for this, I assume, but Restoration Detonation shouldn't hurt that. And more root seeds, and I may as well restore this as well. Yeah, now that we have 30-some rages, where we would like to draw our reversing card, that would be excellent. Well, we can play 28 damage shield with the boss about to calm down. That seems okay to me. Yeah, why don't I just go ahead and do that? Stops our rage generation, but you know what, that's okay. This, as usual, ending up on low health in the boss phase, slightly awkward, but I think we'll be okay. And here, let's see what this does. Again, this just effectively gives us 60 health. And sure, we'll give more spikes as well, and some more attack. Have one of these, boss. I get the feeling we'll be okay here. Yeah, it's not even getting through our 25 damage shields. So again, this is why I'd like to have Permafrost on that shield card, because you can see in this part of the fight it's completely insane, but we do want to stack Rage earlier in the fight. Unleash the Wildwood, not super interesting. this has endless, we don't really care about healing it, and our champion relies more on armor than health. Obviously it's bad, and it's not quite impactful enough, so it's a skip for me. And I think I just take even more draw, the sapwood giving us plenty of energy to work with, and we just want to get through our deck as quick as possible. And we finally arrive at this Merchant of Steel, though we have to consider whether that's even worth it. We really only have the one unit to upgrade. And I would like to visit one before the very end, but I guess we have to consider whether we'd like to hit this one or hit the Magic Merchant on this side. And the remove and duplicate both appeal to me, so I think I'll save the Merchant of Steel for the last circle. And for now, pick up an artifact and some additional magic stuff. Doing really well on Pyre health. It's unusual for this to do nothing, but still think it's correct. Armor or drop cage. Drop cage isn't bad. We do have these ascends and retreats floating around our deck, and while we're looking to use on our own units, we can use them on enemies as well. Friendly units entering with armor 5 is also alright. It means these guys can survive sweep a little bit better. Our champion gets a slightly stronger start, but I think there's some application of the drop cage here, so I'll go ahead and grab that. Then let's see what else we can do here. Okay, we can also double stack the spike. Interesting, to be sure. 10 power, like maybe I put on this just for the extra heal, but it's not hugely important. And cost reduction, I guess one of these two would be the place to do it, I think. So let's put on cycle, that seems fine. And yeah, I'll double stack the spike with the Hellhorn as well. Seems alright to me. And do a reroll, see if we can find Permafrost. We did. Excellent. So I'm 100% putting that on the shield and just gonna attempt to hold that to the boss phase of the fights. Seems really good. And that clears out our money, but it's kind of what we wanted, so it's all good there. And you know, multi-strike can be good with the ability to gain multiple slay triggers in a turn, but I'd rather just get the bigger triggers. It works better with what we have set up. Eight extra attack. Whew, that is a lot of extra attack. Our champion unfortunately starts off pretty fragile at only 40. Needs to get a couple of kills to really get going. The sapwood I'm not as concerned about, of course. It's okay for it to die, but these guys are already going to be scary, and having them hit for 23 in a single shot may be a little too much, so I'm gonna have to keep this one off. Going into the next circle quite poor, but you do. Alright, and we're definitely looking to set our champion up in the middle here, but do need to consider how we prevent it from just immediately dying on the following turn. Because these guys are going to hit for currently 70, so we do need a way to make it survive, and we don't have one right now. We can play a Restoring Retreat instead of one of these guys in order to stun one of them. Doesn't quite do enough, but it gets us close, so that if we find armor or something, we can maybe get something going. It's gonna be a tough fight. The Prince is gonna have a hard time for sure, but I do think we have to try and set this up. And yeah, I'm just gonna skip out on this warrior for the time being, in order to go ahead and daze this, to hopefully make our next turn survivable. Okay, we draw a vent, so that ended up being not quite the play we wanted to make, but we get to play a Fortify. It's definitely worth it. And then let's see, Half-Blade Sapwood. That's obviously something to do, so let's just play that. It'll get hit a lot and give us lots of energy. Unfortunately, we don't have a chance to clear this out. I would very much like to, but the vent obviously far more important here. Okay, the spikes help a little bit. It means this only hits once instead of twice and gives us armor when it dies. So, definitely big to see that, but we are still dying. Let's see if we can fix that. Okay, there we go. And that might make us kill this guy as well. Let's see, we're getting hit twice, so I'm definitely playing this. That's just not a question. The only question is if this torch changes anything whatsoever. My guess is no, but let's try and do the math real quick. This has 75 health, we're doing 52. It's not attacking, we're getting hit twice. Yeah, I don't think the torch changes anything. The steward getting deployed is probably okay. We have to replay the sapwood. It's just going to immediately die, but that's fine. And here... let's see. I'm a little worried about playing the restoration. That might actually reduce what we're getting, because this is going to die to the spikes and give us, what, 25 armor, so that's got to be better than 10 health. So unfortunately, I don't think we can move the needle much here. We can ascend something. That helps in any fashion. I guess getting this tank out of the way is probably good. Just put it at the back. Though it's like we have the DPS, that doesn't really matter, but I think might as well do it. And then yeah, I'm just not going to mess with this. We're not getting any healthier, but we're not getting any less healthy either, and that's fine for now. Oh, I guess the problem with the spikes is they're not actually high enough yet, so these guys aren't dying in a single shot. That's why we're not going up as much as we'd like. But the cycle of life should help with that. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. And we even get to play this to, yeah, really go off. Okay. Now I feel safe. And sure, let's do that as well. And that. Okay, and we are completely fine. It's a bit of a difficult start. Again, the hero pretty fragile to begin with, but as you can see, once it gets going, we're in pretty great shape at this point. So, we can't ascend this, unfortunately. There's no space. But our descend is somewhere in the deck, yeah, so we'll deploy him to try and descend him on a following turn. I'll play the Cycle of Life, I'll play the Root Seeds, hold on to the rest of these. Again, we're just looking for this Holiest Shield to do as much as possible. Yeah, that certainly makes a lot of sense to me. So apply more spikes, and I'll hold on to the rest of the energy. Even wait one more turn here. And here we go. 36 damage shields. Not that they were really necessary anyway, but... So it took some work, but our hero took off in the end. We are extremely poor and don't like that, but oh well. Let's see, Dark Deal is sort of interesting. If we play it on our Prince, it gives us the 7 rage from the card plus the 5 from him, so that's a lot of rage. We can play it on the Sapwood for energy as well. So that's pretty cool. The Tome is actually something I'm somewhat interested in. It costs a lot, but we can put it on one of our Horn Warriors to give an additional stack of multi-strike. I don't know that it's actually worth 5 energy, even though we have the 5 energy a lot of the time. I'll try Dark Deal. It can also be used as an emergency damage spell in a pinch and has some applications in our deck. We removed Consume from the last mutation, so I don't see the need to pick up another one. And don't really see these cards doing a whole lot for us, so I'll go ahead and skip there. Alright, and off to find a couple of basic upgrades. Attack and Rage. Gosh, it might be even better to Subverging even, I don't know. Let's definitely use the Vortex. The Trade Stewards, like, they're obviously bad, but at least you can deploy them and they don't float around your deck anymore. I might be getting rid of Torches instead. They really don't do anything, and we can't get them out. Yeah, I think that's actually correct here. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to duplicate as well. Like, it's probably just another Horned Warrior, right? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, probably. Although, you know, maybe that's unnecessary. Like, we have a setup for, we're gonna be fine in the late part of the fight if we survive the early part. So I might look to copy something that can actually help us get through the early parts of the fight. And what are those things? Sadly, the vent. Maybe either the Cycle of Life or the Sharpen to give us the spikes we need to get going. Yeah, that might be better. Need this extra attack. I think I'm better off with an additional Purge. Really wish I could have taken that last challenge, but what can you do? Yeah, I'm looking to grab something that'll help us in the early parts of the fight, and I think that might be Sharpen. Like Inflame, maybe, but I love that. Cycle of Life gives us spikes and extra health, which is good as well. Less spikes, granted, but we're gonna need to apply 2 of these before it really matters anyway. God, or the vet, like, honestly, the early parts are just gonna suck so much. Yeah, this is, like, insane, but I'm gonna copy event. I guess we can look here just to see what we missed. Nothing too important, I don't think. Oh, it now occurs to me that we're on the Devour spells boss, and I just removed a bunch of torches, but yeah, I think we'll be okay. We still have plenty of spells we don't mind removing. And keeps giving us the smaller bottom floor, which is slightly inconvenient. It's okay. And it looks like we don't have the really nasty double strikers at least, so happy to see that. Yeah, still gonna stick with this on the bottom to generate energy. Get this floor set up as much as we can. Okay, that's not exactly what we were hoping for, but we get our hidden passage so we can get one of these out of here and only take, well, not quite as much damage, which is good. We have lots of energy as well, which is good. Means we can deal with this stuff. So, I'm gonna play both warriors. Definitely try to kill this stuff. And then I don't want this to get consumed, so I guess I'll just consume a torch. Do I want to hit either of my own units here? Maybe. Let's see, is it twice? Gives me rage 5. Doesn't quite help, unfortunately. Getting energy this turn from this doesn't, yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out quite how I want this turn. Maybe a play we make at some other point, and we'll send you so we can survive, get rid of this, and I do want the extra draw. We need to find some way to make our champion a little healthier here. Didn't, but we found a vent. I guess we found a restoration detonation as well. That's something. Am I happy with that getting consumed? It's probably fine. To play this for 0, I think, or at least as low as we can, so I might as well get rid of these things. Actually, I'll take 1 in order to get the steward deployed, so he's out of the way. And then I guess I may as well play Root Seeds over dealing 2 additional damage, doesn't matter. Having trouble getting our champion going here. At least energy's not a concern, which is nice. Okay, man, really need to draw the adaptive mutation here. Just not quite getting to what we need. We can apply 28 rage and armor. That certainly does something. In the meantime, certainly looking to get these spikes going. Decide what we want to consume as well. I think I'll consume the Fortify or the Inflame maybe. Yeah, the Inflame is kind of expensive. Let's just consume that one. Get this going. Definitely get this going. Definitely get this going. Okay, now we're in better shape. I guess we can throw this up here to get the kill. And I'll play Dark Deal on something in the back, I think, rather than our champion, who's still in not great shape at the moment. Though, let's see, we're going to draw the mutation soon, so having it have some extra rage is definitely good. It won't get us a kill on the wing, unfortunately. Next turn we're taking 23, 28. This is 32, 29. It's definitely dangerous. But let's see. It's 2 Gilded Wings plus this. So we can either draw Restoration to save us, Fortify saves us, Enhancer probably saves us. We're drawing 7 cards. It's a little too scary for me, I think. I'll just do one of these. Okay, sure. we got the mutation, that's gotta be good. As always, have to redeploy the sapwood and figure out what we want to consume here. I guess just one of the root seeds is okay. Put us into fantastic shape, and now I'm no longer worried about this fight. Ooh, okay. Tough start, but I think now we'll be good. We just save some energy for the Holy Shield in the end, and we should be good. Get our root seeds going though. I'm just gonna choose to take one in order to conserve energy. At this point, Fortify isn't looking too hot. Go ahead and consume that one. We'll get rid of that. I feel like the root seeds aren't even worth playing, honestly. It's better to just hold on to the energy and make this really insane. The event's pretty bad now that we're trying to save our energy, but it's fine. Let's see, we do have a retreat, so I guess I might as well deploy this guy. See if we can lower him later, and I guess I'll use up a torch here. So go ahead and clear that out. No reason to play any of these other cards. Okay, we do draw our Restoring Retreat. We'll be fine to consume that, shouldn't need another one. And yeah, should basically just be fine from here. I don't know, I guess I'll do this play because it's fun. Revert one more time, sure. Seems like fun. We have our choice of applying 56 rage or 56 damage shield. You know, I'll go with the damage shield. Seems alright to me. Alright, nice fight. Again, a bit hard to get this version of the Horned Prince going, but man, once you do, I mean, just look at him. And you know, our Horned Warriors back there pretending to contribute. Obviously they helped earlier in the fight with clearing out a lot of these tougher mobs, but at this point I'm pretty sure our champion could just solo this very easily. Alright, took a bit of a hit to our score in order to apply an unnecessary amount of shields. I'm happy with that decision, I think. And we got a run that was something a little bit different. Had a chance to play with the Horned Prince in a while, and yeah, I think we put him to pretty good use there. So, ooh, even got the Wilting Sapwood. Did a good job there, generating lots of energy for us. Definitely played its role, and the streak continues. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more.